going? Dusty Bogan here, having a delicious beer on a Friday night. I hope you're doing well. Tui's Extra Dry. I wish I was sponsored by a beer company. What we're doing, we order these every year. Tradition, we order 500 Aussie flags to hand out to families who are enjoying the ANZAC Day parade. So this year, I just opened them, just got them in the mail, and they came as like individual. I have to build them. I have to put them together, 500. So we could be here all night, people. And delicately, just going to put them there on the ground one by one. That's a bit disrespectful. I feel like that's disrespectful. I'm going to put them in this container. I'm going to put them in this lovely container with a mullet hat. We'll put them in there. We'll load it up. And we'll be here all night. God bless you. I hope people do tune in. Obviously, I am almost like I never stream anymore. How come this is like doing that? I barely stream anymore. So, well, forgive me for never streaming and never doing lives. But we're going to have a crack. Why isn't this working? Why won't it let me scroll up? There we go. That's better. Good. I could see if people do drop comments. I can see if people decide to drop a comment. We're live on Rumble, D Live, and YouTube. I don't even know if I have a D Live anymore. But if you drop any comments on Rumble, I'll keep an eye out. Or YouTube, anyway. We're here all night. Say g'day. Beer after beer after beer. Oh God, there's got to be more of an efficient way to do this. It's all on the wrist. I think that's the trick. There's some people watching on Rumble. God bless you. Drop a comment, Rumble people. Ask me a question. Q&A. I should have said this is a Q&A. Any questions you have for Australians? We're building flags tonight because we've ordered these flags. What we do, we have like a military day of celebration, celebrating. I guess it's how we honor our veterans and service men and women. We do ANZAC Day parades, annual event. So me and the boys, the Proud Boys Australia, or our chapter in Queensland, what we do every year is we hand out flags to families. The whole idea is when the veterans and soldiers march in that, or what do? They do that parade as they come past. It's like nice for them to see like heaps of families waving Aussie flags. You know what I mean? That's we get the money together, we give them out for free. The whole idea is just to show some appreciation. You know what I mean? It was like I don't think I came up with the idea. I think someone else came up with the idea about, let's say 4 years ago. Someone came up with the idea and we've just ran with it ever since. So, I mean, I could pull up dustybogan.com. The dustybogan.com. If you do want to donate to my PayPal, this is not free. It's something that we spend money every year, and we could buy more flags. We could do more. You can go to dustybogan.com anyway if you do want to if you ever want to go, if you do want to donate, you could go to dustybogan.com. There's my PayPal somewhere. Buy some merch. I'll chuck any funds that come our way. I will chuck it into towards the flag fund. I tried to encourage the other chapters to get onto it. I've been busy as you can all imagine, having 2 young kids. What a fool I was. What a fool I have been. When I first started, I was like, I'm going to have 5 kids. I'm going to have 5 kids and I'm going to be doing all these things and I'll be live streaming and I'll be doing my censored TV episode. I thought, and working full-time. I thought I'll be doing it all. Now I got a 2.5-year-old and a 7 or 8-month-old baby as well, and I don't have time. I've got time to do this live stream tonight. God bless yous. Someone drop a comment. I can see there's people watching on Rumble. I'd appreciate some interaction here. The whole point of me going live is so that this long process of building these flags that I didn't anticipate every year, the last 5 years of doing this, the flags have come made like that. They've been built. So they've came with the pole attached to the flag. So next year when I order the flags, I'm reading the fine print. Probably save myself hours and I expect this is going to take hours. Yo, Cho. How you going, mate? Mate, I met you and your bro a couple times at rallies in Brisbane. I'm the dude with the red ensign on the telescope. Oh, yeah, telescope fishing rod. Yeah, sick, dude. I think I've actually met a few dudes. Was that down the coast at the border, Tweed border? Because I'm pretty sure I've met a few dudes with the same idea. But that is a brilliant idea. The telescopic fishing rod with a flag. Wave it nice and high. Yeah, I love that. Do I say red ensign? Is that how I pronounce it? I must be retarded. Anyway, yeah, the red Aussie flag was a huge thing during the freedom rally. So, I mean, we got the traditional, I guess, would we call it traditional? We should call it the most common for for me, I'm 35. Growing up, it was the Aussie blue, Aussie flag. Many Australia days, getting on the beers, playing cricket, having barbecues, we would go hard. And I know I've had many conversations with people at the freedom rallies about the red Aussie flag. In the gardens out front of Parliament. Oh, sweet. Good on you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I've had many combos with people about the red flag, and apparently the red flag was more commonly used by average citizens. I think it was around World War One. And I think and the blue flag was used more so by the government, and the red flag was the flag of the people. This is what I've heard. So it's a cool part of the Australia history. When you get to a freedom rally, you also see a lot of Eureka Stockade flags, always a winner. But yeah, the blue, what I would call this is the Australian national flag. Mate, to me it was, I love it. Love it, just the amount of good times on Australia Day in particular. Just these days, Australia Day is under attack. It's all this. is it critical race theory? I don't know. Once the cultural Marxists started pushing critical race theory, it the idea has stirred up all kind of, I guess, negative drama. The Indigenous population of Australia, I would say a minority of them have kind of been like, and Australia Day. They call it Invasion Day. When Arthur Phillips came and claimed Australia for the British Empire in 1788. Is that right? 1776. Am I wrong? Am I right? What's America? I know they say I'm getting it all wrong. 1788. 1776. I don't even know. Cho will help me out. He's in the bloody comments section. He's probably got a few more brain cells than I do. What do we got? There are 2 red flags. The People's red flag has a broader ratio 2-3, and the Merchant's red flag at sea has a ratio of 1-2. Oh, that's cool. Easy to get them mixed up. Okay, cool. Yeah, 1776. Awesome. Yeah, anyway, it is like a weird thing. So I was like a youth leader in Inala. If people know Brisbane, it's one of the more low socioeconomic areas. Heaps of Aboriginals. Me and my missus were youth leaders in Inala for like, I think 7 years. We did, it's something like 4,000 hours volunteering over 7 years, both working full time. We just did it with our youth group for years, and a lot of our youth kids were Aboriginal. And I used to always invite my youth kids to Australia Day, or like, these are just me mates. Things, we were youth leaders, but we were just mates. We were mentors for these young people. The idea why we volunteered so much, and because we became genuinely friends with the young people and seeing them have, just do good with that in their lives. Anyway, a lot of the kids our mates were Indigenous, and to me it seems like really disappointing how divisive they've made Australia Day. Like, I'm patriotic, so I love Australia Day, but I also love my Abo mates, and kind of like you just don't think, I think like how all this critical theory or cultural Marxism, it's really designed to divide people, hey, and it's like divide and conquer, or some kind of strategy like that. The commies and the Marxists are all about that kind of divide and conquer. And I guess the thing is, if we know, how it's all set up, like critical theory. Critical theory was mainly, I think, designed by the Frankfurt Institute in Germany. It was like a cultural communist. It was like an offshoot of Karl Marx Communist Manifesto. You think of, in the manifesto, they talk about conflict theory, how we're sort of all in conflict for limited resources, and we're trying to, I don't know, they have their theory, and they push class division, rich versus poor, or maybe feminism, and then they break it down into like all these different ways to divide people: rich, poor, black, white, male, female, gay, straight. And the idea, I guess, like critical theory is an offshoot of conflict theory. And the whole idea is to divide, conquer, because it's like a very atheistic, I guess is it like, does Darwinism come into play where it's like, well, there's limited resources on the planet and we're in competition, survival of the fittest? Is there a little bit of that? And, and it's all this sort of, they'll use any means necessary to, I guess the whole idea is to destroy what would be, at the end of the day, the commies they have like a utopian ideal where they think they're going to design or create a better world, a more fairer world or something like that. And like sometimes these good intentions don't always, they seem to have, we look at through the history books and we look what communism's delivered for the people, where it's been outworked. And I tell you what, I wouldn't want to live in any of them countries. So it's a failed ideology. The Frankfurt Institute got kicked out of, it's like a communist cultural Marxist, the Frankfurt Institute. They got kicked out of Nazi Germany. They fled to the West, and really this is where they've it's sort of like that second branch of conflict theory, or it's really the cultural Marxists have really taken root in the West, because we gave them a safe haven from the Nazis, and look what's happened with cultural, it's critical race theory, critical gender theory. It's gone mad. It's gone pretty chaotic, and it's a shame. Like, it really is a shame when you think about, we could all turn on each other and be like, oh, I'm super patriotic, and am I going to start rubbishing Indigenous people? And I don't really want to, even though, like, I know the critical gender theory and critical race theory, it's quite disgusting. It is, but the people who are being used, like, it's an ideology that, it's a radical ideology that is going to be taking advantage of people. They're just going to be used to really destroy the country. They're not going to benefit the country at all. What have we got here? Cho reckons, of course, it's about division. Easy to rule a state when everyone is fighting each other. Yeah, that's it. If you really want to know what it's all about, look up on YouTube Yuri Bezmendov, ideological subversion. It will blow your mind. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is that the dude? I could be wrong. He was like a KGB, ex-KGB, moved to America, maybe fled the Soviet Union. Then he's like telling everyone about what's going on, what the tactics of the KGB were. And I think from what I heard that bloke say, or something that he said that stuck to me, he was like saying there was like 3 stages: demoralize, destabilize, replace. And that's, what we got to think is, essentially we let in a lot of communists, commies who fled the Nazis, say the Frankfurt Institute in particular. We let them into the West. They've continued. The Frankfurt Institute was pretty much like a university-based department. They went straight into the universities, where they've continued their brainwashing of the young and, you know, starting their slow march through the institutions. And, you know, I think they hate, there's a part of like the Western civilization that I think is great would be meritocracy, where you were, you know, judged or given a go on the merit, what you bring to the table. Like meritocracy, everyone sort of got a fair go, but you were just judged by your ability, not necessarily due to your, you know, it wasn't because you're of a bloodline, wasn't like it wasn't feudalism, you know, it wasn't because you're the son of an earl or some shit that got you the job. G'day, my dad, born Nordic. Um, you know, meritocracy, capitalism, and I'm talking about kind of capitalism where there was actually competition that gave customers better quality products and services. Not, and at the moment, it's like we've got monopolies and corporations that are yeah, really having the monopolies, and they destroy competition. It's not genuine capitalism. I don't even know if these corporations, you know, your local, like if you had a local hardware family business, for example, competing against Wesfarmers Bunnings Corporation, now how much tax does that corporation pay compared to that little local hardware store? Who knows? But anyway, I think that the commies, obviously, commies and Nazis, it's all about control. It's all about them bloody. And anyone who's that obsessed with control, I tell you what, we better be bloody weary, because what we're seeing in the West is a real bloody decline. But the thing is there's the ideals of Western civilization. You think of the Bill of Rights in America: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, a right to bear arms. That would be awesome. Right to a free trial. Is it a fair trial? I don't even know what's on all the Bill of Rights. Someone could look it up and chuck it in the comment section. You get the gist of what I'm saying. Did you see the interview of Elon Musk by the BBC guy? Hilarious. Yeah, that was good. I've seen clips of it on TikTok. I think the Australian government has banned, I don't know, I think it's government employees, but it might be, I don't think it's like teachers and firefighters and shit who have been banned from using TikTok. I think it's like probably the military and police and government officials or some shit like that. It wasn't really too clear, the details, but I've heard like people saying the only reason why Western governments are banning TikTok is because it's like on TikTok you get like free, or you get kind of true information. And like the truth is my TikTok is all like, I have a pretty great, I'd say I have an excellent algorithm. Like anything I watch and listen to, I'm very selective. You know what I mean? I don't listen to shit. Like I try not to put crap into my body. I do enjoy a beer. I've just done Lent. Anyway, you got to think about it like what we're watching and listening to. You got to be bloody careful, right? Because a lot of it is garbage. And when you're like on social medias, you got to be very selective of what you're listening to and watching, because it's just trash, man. Like, but if you know what you're doing and you're careful of what you like and what you follow, and you can get like pretty awesome your algorithm can start churning out some great, positive, inspiring, challenging, you know, TikToks or whatever. So I would say like my TikTok feed is full of like awesome preaching and, you know, dudes who are lifting weights and talking about diets and positive mindsets and guys who are standing up for bloody good values. You know what I mean? Good family values, the values that will make us all better men. So I don't know. Maybe the government is afraid of TikTok because it's like they're not in control of the algorithm. You know what I mean? They don't have fucking these I don't know. I've been booted off Facebook and Instagram for fucking 4 years now. Let's say 4 years. I've been permanently banned, so I don't get any of that shit. Most of your conservative freedom of speech sites like TikTok, Telegram, and that you don't even get it. You have to physically follow a page to get it. You're not just going to get like some random shit popping up in your feed. Like all the conservative sites, you have to search it out. What do we got here? Rajan. I can't, when I click on, as soon as I click on this and pop it up on the screen, the text's so small for me, I can't even read it. Anyway, I reckon commies and Nazis are actually people who love too much, but don't know how to direct it. Discrimination is love, and they take it to the extreme. A feminine type of love, not tough man love. Yeah. I think there's always like there's always like good intentions behind most things, eh? People are just like passionate about something or think they're like, this will be great, this will be great, this is going to be better, this is going to help people. And sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Like that's why I do believe like a Bill of Rights style Western civilization where the individual has more freedoms and then you're free to have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, self defense, freedom to engage in the marketplace and make an honest living. Like, I don't know, the kind of freedom that I think that's what the West was built on that made us great. And now we're moving in towards. We're moving towards a system where political correctness is used and weaponized. The courts are being weaponized. Freedom of speech is under attack. Freedom of religion's under attack. There's not a free marketplace of ideas, and the corporations have gone so woke and they're monopolizing and controlling. Once they've monopolized the economy, they can control people. If you need a job and these woke corporations are the only place you're going to get a job, it's essentially like a social credit system, man, where they're going to be, you can't post that on your social media. We don't like that tattoo. We don't like that joke you said. So there could be arise all these bloody problems. And there is. Yeah, that's right. It's called, I can't even pronounce this, the right to a trial by the body of your peers, a jury. Yeah, that's a foundational, foundational principle of Western civilization, isn't it? Like a common law where you're judged guilty or innocent by your peers. You get a trial by a jury of your peers who judge you innocent or guilty. That's amazing. Only 300 to go, son. I don't know. I'll go all day. I think I said to my missus 30 minutes. I was like, give me 30 minutes. I might have to go live every night for an hour to get this done. English common law. Yeah, English common law. So like how did we get, you think from like bloodline, essentially Europe was bloodline feudalism, kings and queens and people who however they gained power, but how was there like upward momentum even in that system? Like we moved away from bloodline feudalism and we created democracy and common law, and pretty essentially like the Magna Carta was the beginning, stepping in that direction. And it's like I don't believe that they're really teaching this stuff at school. I can't remember being taught it, although I was just a bit of a rat bag at school, so I learned the bare minimum to pass the test, and then I to get my C minus. You know what I'm saying? Let me say. I can't pronounce the first few words on this. Right, requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into court, especially to secure the person's release unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. I mean, I think the country's, look, like we're building ANZAC Day flags to hand out to families while the veterans and soldiers march past, and I'm still patriotic. I'm still proud of Australia. I'm still proud of the West, and it is a fact that we're drifting away from the core tenets that gives you grounds to be proud. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think, oh, this flag and our anthem represents the values that give you freedom, that I could be free to worship my God, I could speak my mind, that you could have a common law, and your peers, if you ever broke the law, you'd be judged by a jury, a random jury who would decide if you're innocent or guilty, and an ability to earn an honest living, and having that a free market and competition. Like you think all these things that were foundational, and we're drifting, that's a fact, but we still have to be, I think, a part of Western civilization. Definitely the Christianity is a big part of our history, and being a Christian, we've got to have faith. Faith is to be hopeful. I think, faith in a Christian context is obviously having faith in the person of Jesus. But there's also, overall, you learn about having faith in general. And I think to have faith that things can turn around, things can improve, people can still have a great, we want to think that our children and grandchildren would have be able to live a great life in this country, you know what I mean? With safety, economic prosperity and whatnot. There we go. What do we got here? What are we experiencing is a return to bloodline rule. They are taking it back with corrupt elite families. It's open season to make history and become a new global royalty for the future. It probably is. Legend work. Thanks, Neil. Mate, Neil, you're more than welcome to come with us on ANZAC Day. And your crew, True Blue crew, more than welcome to come with us. We hand out Aussie flags to families every ANZAC Day. So we're just building these flags. But Boy, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly go grab another beer, and I've got to get more flags. So we've done the first. That must be the first 100. I'm back. Mate, we've got to pump out these flags. We're definitely doing another live stream. I would say I've got maximum, who knows, 20 more minutes in me. And then we'll have to do another stream to finish these flags off next week sometime. Cho, mate, make sure you bloody come say g'day. I think there's a freedom rally in May. I'm definitely going to that. I missed the last freedom rally, so it was bloody excellent. A beer at the Irish pub after the march, Neil. Bloody oath. We go, ANZAC Day, we go hand out these flags and then definitely go for a beer. Head to an RSL and catch some 2-ups. Would be excellent. With dad, being a dad, I'm kind of going to go with the boys, hand out the flags, stop in at the pub for a few beers, and then I'll head back home to the family. So I'll miss out on most of the fun. I probably won't catch any 2-ups. I might buy. Usually they have veterans or RSL people standing in front of outside of your supermarkets. If I can buy a little 2-up, what do they call it? The spinner. And some coins. Maybe I'll bring one along ANZAC Day and we can get a few games in before I have to head home to the family. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's March. That's it, the Freedom Rally. We definitely got to go. How was the last Freedom Rally, Cho, if you did go? Because I didn't get to go, which was, I don't know what was on. I had my missus' little sister turned 18, so it was and I had to, I don't know, my missus was had to drive her all around for her hair and makeup and all this stuff. So I had to look after the boys. I tried to I think I couldn't get a babysitter because grandma and all the women were making a big deal, a big hoorah about the 18th. I'll never give the RSL my money. Oh, yeah, okay. Now they were brutal here during the COVID crap. Yeah. Isn't that a shame? It is a real shame when you have, during COVID, it was I was always a supporter of the local police, and I still want to be. And obviously, seeing their handling of COVID and pepper spraying people, I seen one particular one of an old lady getting pepper sprayed. A video of that, and that to me was wow, that was absolutely disgusting. I never thought I would see that in Australia, so I will still, and like you were saying, Cho, maybe you had your local RSL wouldn't let you in because you were unjabbed or you had to wear a mask in there, so you thought, stuff it, I won't go. It is disappointing. It's disappointing when you see these things and you sort of go, you see it all the time. You see it with like TV ads. I don't watch a lot of TV, but the other day it was like Kellogg's some Kellogg's breakfast cereal, and it was like trannies. They had trannies or some shit on that ad, or KFC ads, and they've got trannies on them, and you go, I wouldn't mind a bit of KFC or a bowl of Kellogg's Special K every now and then. And then you sort of go, you see these ads and you go, yeah, nah, not anymore. Like, perfect example, Bud Light with the tranny. And you go, I used to love Budweiser, the king of beers. It really, like, Budweiser is a delicious beer. And there was, like, it's quite expensive to buy a box of Budweiser in Australia. But if I went on a hunting trip, I'd go and buy a box of Budweiser. And I thought, I really love it. I'd really enjoyed Budweiser. But now it's like, no, I'm not going to drink Budweiser because they've run a tranny on the advertisement campaign. How disappointing, And we're all like, you get disappointed by all these things. But you got to think like, well, then we've got to think like, well, are we disappointed in the stupid governments that have been elected who have made poor decisions? And you go, yeah, we've been disappointed. We're disappointed by a lot of corporations and political parties, and you just go like, tranny fluid, yeah, the old Bud Light tranny fluid. In Australia we have this beer called Powers. See if I can Powers. See if it'll Powers beer. Powers beer. So I thought Powers beer. They've just bought it back. It's an Australian beer. Powers iconic beer returns to Queensland. Now, Powers beer, I'll just pull it up for you quickly. It actually tastes like Budweiser. So if I'm not saying they won't sell this beer in America or wherever you hopefully you're local listening to this. Iconic Queensland beer, Powers returns after decades. Do we get is there like a picture? Is there like a snazzy picture of Powers? There you go, Powers beer. Have a fucking go. If you get a chance and you see Powers beer at your local bottle shop, give it a go. I thought it was delicious. It tastes just like Budweiser, so it was perfect. Powers just came out. I bought a box. It was during Lent. We had like my son's baby dedication, so I wasn't really drinking during Lent, but there was a few occasions where I had a few drinks, like when we went for meets with the boys and my son's baby dedication. I bought a box of Powers and I was like, wow, this is brilliant. Tastes exactly like, I thought it tasted exactly like Budweiser. And then it's like, yeah, since when this Budweiser crap came out, I thought to myself, wow, that's great timing. That Powers beer, I can just drink Powers beer. It tastes exactly like Budweiser. Plenty of great beer that ain't playing that woke game. I heard Budweiser's lost, or whatever the corporation that owns Budweiser has lost $6 billion from the share valuation, apparently. Nothing on TV is anywhere representative of society. That's exactly true, mate. Like, I say it to my mate at work, like, we got one dude at work, he's P&G dude, but him and his brother, they lived in, came to Australia, lived in Cairns, grew up in Cairns, came over when they were like, I don't know, primary school or some shit. So anyway, they're from northern Queensland. They've just moved to Brisbane. I think it's a year this weekend or whatever. So these boys, we'll talk about, I'll be like, mate, you must get a shock with all this fucking gay shit in the city and all these freaks. And then I'll sort of say, oh, mate, there's fucking this and that going on. Like, it's all this faggotry. And I think it's just disgusting. Like, it's just, you're just forever rolling your eyes. Like, what, like, it's just, we don't want to fucking know, mate. Like, people are over it. The whole thing, it's now to the point where it's like, it's such an agenda. It's so fucked up. Like, you have to say that they're trying to, like, I don't know, brainwash autistic. Maybe my theory is like autistic people are maybe susceptible to really dumb ideas. And like, I think like there's a rise in autism. It's like autism's up by like 400% the last 15 years, right? I don't know how that is. Maybe they're just like overdiagnosing it. I don't know. But all I know is it appears that autistic people are easily manipulated or pick up on ideas and shit, right? So anyway, I reckon they're trying to fucking whatever brainwash people into being some kind of fucking weird tranny ideas or fucking gender weird ideas. Like, it's fucking strange. And even what I was saying, get back to my mate. Anyway, my mate from northern fucking PNG, mate, work mate from northern Queensland, he was sort of saying, even I think it was yesterday, he's like, he's going to save up and buy a block of land back up north and get the fuck out of Dodge as soon as he can. And do you blame the bloke? Cooper's Green is the only decent beer, and it's actually Australian. Yeah, it's quite expensive. Cooper's Green. I mean, wouldn't all Coopers be bloody? It's like a family-owned company, right? I think what I was saying, even Powers is owned by Japanese. Forex and Powers and all that is owned by a fucking Japanese corporation now. So, I've got, check this shit out. I've got my own. This is my homemade gin. Absolutely delicious. I've mastered this. Took a while to get good at making this. It's only 30%, but that's fucking absolutely delicious. I make that for about $10 a litre, and that's fucking A grade delicious quality. Yeah, it's moonshine. Made it in a still. I just added the gin flavoring, so it's like an essence. But we went on a hunting trip, so I was making like rocket fuel moonshine. Went on a hunting trip. One of the farmers had a still, and he showed me. He was just like, bang. He had some of my moonshine, and it's not bad. It wasn't bad. It was fucking horrible back then, honest to God. So he showed me a few tricks. It's sort of what I was doing wrong was I was running it through my still, taking out the initial bit of, I think it's called ethanol or methanol, whatever the shit that makes you go blind. I'd take out the recommended amount and I'd let my still run for fucking hours and hours and get every last drop of alcohol out of it. So the farmer said, no, you got to, it's called cutting the head and the tail off. Let the still run, take out, first 500 mils, take out the first decent amount. And then you can, and then instead of letting it run for 4 hours or whatever, you turn it off after 2.5 hours, and you're just cutting the head and the tail off, and you're keeping that middle bit, and that's the better quality. And you can even like chop it up into 20-minute segments or whatever, and you can taste test it, and you can get it really good. But anyway, I've done a whole lot better. I'll pay double that. Yeah. Well, I can definitely, mates who know me, now that I've gotten better at it, it's like we could just buy ingredients together and do a batch together. So it's not like we're not selling. I don't like to sell moonshine. I'm pretty sure you can, as mates, brew together. I think that's all right. I think that's fine. Who fucking knows? I get 1.125 liters of any booze I want, rum, whiskey, whatever, for $15. That's a great deal. That's good. And if it's good quality, like if the person making it has, put in a decent amount of effort to make it taste decent, 40%, triple charcoal filtered, and that's great. That's really good, mate. You're getting a bargain, honestly. But we were coming up to an hour, so I reckon we'll bloody 52 minutes. I bet it tastes like shit. No, it's top quality, mate. He must be doing decent batches to get like a. People know what they're doing. Like when we went out to this farm, and the farmer who showed me how to make a decent drop, he had a fucking huge setup. The guy he had like a gourmet beef farm, brewing, just living on steaks and drinking fucking moonshine, living the dream. Anyway, God bless you. I'm probably gonna have to. That's what we did tonight during this live stream. So we're probably like 20% there. So what we were doing anyway, just before we go, building these flags, we just ordered 500, came in, opened the packet, realized that I have to put the bloody pole in. We're going to hand these out to families on ANZAC Day, at the ANZAC Day parade. So when the veterans and the soldiers march past, it's nice for them to see a heap of families waving Aussie flags, showing a appreciation. And, I appreciate this country, and I just go to work. I go to work. I'm a concreter, mate. I go to work every day. I come home, I have a cold beer, I have a great life. So I want to show some appreciation. And we're putting the best foot forward, show some appreciation, and hope that we can definitely steer the nation in a better direction, have a bit of faith. And, we've got to all kind of keep our chin up, and let's be nice enough to your countrymen and encourage people that I think we could do better, and we can look back to a time where, we don't have to continuously try to reinvent the wheel. I know everyone wants to reinvent the wheel, but we don't have to. You can have things that worked in the past we should stick to. Yeah, like family values and hard work and making an honest living and being patriotic and having a certain amount of freedom that everyone can live their life and appreciate their life without, being without all the what seems to be quite fucking weird, quite frankly, some of the shit that's getting pushed these days. But yeah, anyway, God bless yous. We'll catch us. We'll have to catch up. I'm gonna have to go live later on in the week and keep building these flags. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. Rumble and YouTube. God bless yous. I didn't check D Live. Catch us later. God bless. You.